Charlotte Danielson Framework for Teaching, the Observation and Evaluation Process. This PowerPoint presents information about using the Danielson Framework for Teaching as the basis for teacher observations and evaluations. Most Maryland school systems have developed observation and evaluation criteria that align with the Danielson Framework. This document was developed and produced by the Maryland State Department of Education through federal funds. The Towson University Teaching Modules Development Team was led by Debbie Gartland, Project Director. Also on the team were Roberta Stroh-Snyder, Val Sharp, Michelle Pascoe, Lenore Chapman, Jessica Kirchen, Jessica Moore, Rebecca Malloy, and Darlene Fuster. Thank you to all the content experts and others who provided feedback on the teaching modules as they were under development, including Towson University faculty, staff, and teacher candidates, and school system and MSDE personnel. Observers and evaluators collect evidence to support statements that they make in written and oral feedback. The evidence provides data that support a non-biased evaluation process. A good evaluation process is based on evidence. This evidence is used to measure a teacher's competence. The Danielson Framework for Teaching uses an evaluation instrument to gather evidence in order to measure a teacher's competence. The Danielson Framework observation and evaluation process aligns with the Interstate Teacher Assessment and Support Consortium standards. Danielson has developed rubrics for each of the 4 domains that specifies levels of performance for each element in the components. 4 levels of performance are described. These next few slides show how the Danielson Framework is closely aligned with the Interstate Teacher Assessment and Support Consortium INTASC standards. Notice how this alignment crosses domains and corresponding components. And this for the last 2 standards. Here's Activity 1. We'll split into 2 groups. Half of you will work with a partner to list activities, skills, and strategies that would fit into each Danielson component. How would some of these activities, skills, and strategies be adapted to work with students having disabilities? Provide specific examples and use the elements to help you brainstorm ideas. The other half of you will work with a partner to list activities, skills, and strategies that would fit into each INTASC standard. How would some of these activities, skills, and strategies be adapted to work with students having disabilities? Provide specific examples. When the groups have completed the task, we will compare findings. This slide depicts how the observation process works. Pre-conference is first, and it focuses on components in Domain 1, followed by the classroom observation, which focuses on components in Domains 2 and 3. The post-observation conference follows, which focuses on Domain 4. The determination of level of performance follows that, and it focuses on all 4 domains. Finally, we have the noted areas of strength and areas for continued growth, which focuses on all 4 domains. This is an ongoing process, so following the noted areas of strength and areas for continued growth, we would return to pre-conference and go through the cycle in an ongoing process. After the observation process, an evaluation of the teacher's performance is made using rubrics aligned with Danielson's domains, components, and elements. Danielson designated 4 levels of performance: distinguished, proficient, basic, and unsatisfactory. Each is defined on the following slides. Unsatisfactory. The teacher performing at the unsatisfactory level does not yet appear to understand the concepts underlying the component. Working on the fundamental practices associated with the elements will enable the teacher to grow and develop in this area. Notice key traits of the unsatisfactory level listed below. Basic. The teacher performing at the basic level appears to understand the concepts underlying the component and attempts to implement its elements, but implementation is sporadic, intermittent, or otherwise not entirely successful. Additional reading, discussion, visiting classrooms of other teachers, and experience, particularly supported by a mentor, will enable the teacher to become proficient in this area. Note the key traits listed below for basic. Proficient. The teacher performing at the proficient level clearly understands the concepts underlying the component and implements it well. Most experienced, capable teachers will regard themselves and be regarded by others as performing at this level. Teachers performing at the proficient level have mastered the work of teaching while working to improve their practice. Note the key traits for proficient listed below. Distinguished. Teachers performing at the distinguished level are master teachers and make a contribution to the field, both in and outside their school. Their classrooms operate at a qualitatively different level from those of other teachers. Such classrooms consist of a community of learners, with students highly motivated and engaged and assuming considerable responsibility for their own learning. Note the key traits of distinguished below. The next few slides show a sample of performance criteria using Danielson's domains and components. This is a sample of performance evaluation criteria for Domain 1. This is a sample of performance evaluation criteria for Domain 2. This is a sample of performance evaluation criteria for Domain 3. This is a sample of performance evaluation criteria for Domain 4. Reflection is critical to teacher growth. This form incorporates the 4 Danielson domains and the 4 levels of performance. Interns and mentors can complete this form in preparation for a post-observation conference, citing evidence from the lesson to support their ratings. This is the self-reflection rating form for Domain 2. This is the self-reflection rating form for Domain 3. This is the self-reflection rating form for Domain 4. How would you rate yourself in accordance with the competencies and skills delineated in the Danielson Framework for Teaching? Here's Activity 2. Now it's your turn. Reflect on the most recent lesson you taught. Rate yourself, identifying strengths and areas for continued professional growth. What steps will you take to improve? Now let's take a look at how Maryland teachers are evaluated. In 2010, the Maryland General Assembly passed the Education Reform Act of 2010. This act called for changes in the teacher evaluation process. The teacher evaluation process has changed over the past several years, with more emphasis on teacher effectiveness as it impacts student growth. Maryland's new teacher evaluation system was implemented statewide in the 2013 to 2014 school year. Under the new evaluation system, teachers are evaluated on measures of professional practice as well as student growth. The results of the new evaluations offer a more detailed look at educator performance so that targeted and supportive professional development can be provided in a timely manner. With this shift in the way teachers are evaluated, it is important that all local school systems have the resources and supports necessary so that teachers have the information to fully understand how they will be evaluated. Maryland's website provides a variety of resources on all aspects of Maryland's new teacher evaluation and continues to be updated as new materials are developed. Here is the state teacher evaluation model. Notice that it is divided into two main categories: professional practice worth 50% and student growth worth 50%, making it a qualitative and quantitative process. Maryland school systems may develop their own local teacher evaluation model, but they must be approved by the Maryland State Department of Education in order to be in compliance. A teacher's professional practice. How is the professional practice portion of the teacher evaluation model determined? A teacher's professional practice rating will comprise 50% of the teacher's evaluation. The professional practice portion of the evaluation aligns with Danielson's framework for teaching. The teacher's professional practice rating will assess all 4 domains as well as the 22 components within the domains and the 76 elements. Maryland school systems using the local model must use the 4 domains, but may add other criteria based upon local priorities to measure teacher professional practice. As a basis for measuring student growth, teachers are required to develop student learning objectives, SLOs, which are measurable, targeted outcomes for a specific group of students over a set period of time. At the end of the time period, data are used to determine if the objectives have been met. Here's the first page of a template teachers may use to develop SLOs. It is provided by the Maryland State Department of Education and may be accessed by using the link on the slide. Local school systems may have similar templates. Here's Activity 3. These guiding questions are used to help teachers develop appropriate SLOs. Work in small groups to answer each set of questions based on a fictional classroom setting.